lot of people ask me, why Fordham? Well, the school has so many amazing opportunities that will help me push to my limit and achieve a successful future. The athletic and academic programs at Fordham are absolutely incredible, and they will always be there to help you prepare for what's to come. We are also literally in the heart of New York City. You could take a quick train ride into Manhattan, or you can simply step onto Fordham Road. There are so many experiences to be had and so many people to meet in this community. The community is also a big reason why I chose to be in Fordham in the first place. Everyone here is so accepting and so supportive of you. They will always help you push to your limit, and they want to see you succeed, so everyone will be there to help you every step of the way. Fordham is like a family, and I am so proud to be a part of it.
So one of my favorite campus activities is hanging out on Eddie's Parade when it's a nice day out. So I would go out there, hang out with my friends, relax, enjoy the good weather, maybe, throw a ball or play spike ball. For actual clubs that happen on campus, in the beginning of the semester, there's a club fair that's around the perimeter of Eddie's, and that's where clubs, set up tables and, inquire if you want to join the club. So it could be the astronomy club, it could be the rock climbing club, the entrepreneurial society. There's a lot of unique and different clubs that you can join if you like, and you just sign up and they'll keep you updated through email. And for housing for freshmen, there's a few dorms. There's Martyrs Court, which I was in, my favorite. Alumni South, people normally call it South. Loescher Hall. Those three are pretty regular. But then there's learning communities. So there's one in Martyrs Court, which is Jogues, and that's a science-based community. So if you're interested in science or that's your specific major, then I would recommend going there. It's helpful. They have tutors. There's Queen's Court, which is you take a pledge to not use any substances. It's a great community. Normally the rooms are nicer. And there's Jogues, which is, I would say, an academic, a leadership. So each one of those, Loyola, Queens, and Jogues, kind of have their own special events that cater to the people who live in those residence halls.
So everyone on the team thinks it's pretty funny to call me the city boy, but I went to high school in the city and I go there pretty often, so I guess it makes sense. Honestly, it's a hop, skip, and a jump into the city. You can be at Grand Central in about 18 minutes, and I go there once a week. It's what I love about Fordham. We have a campus, you can go to Arthur Ave, you could actually see grass, but at the same time you could be in the city whenever you want.
I was able to balance academics and track and field because of the team's strong emphasis on the student and student athlete. They really value your education, and they know that you're there first as a college student in addition to being a collegiate athlete. So they want you to get as much as you can out of your 4 years at Fordham, and they're very considerate of your academic pressures. Within your first year, as with other teams, there's required study hall hours. But what's unique about track and field is that you're able to do these required hours in the Fordham Walsh Library as opposed to the athletic office. Having these required hours within your first year is crucial to getting into good habits and good routines, to dedicating time every day to your classes and your coursework so you can stay on top of everything when you're balancing your athletics. And being able to do these required hours in the library also exposes you to all the additional resources that are available to you there. As an athlete, you get priority when you're making your class schedules. So you get to register for classes a little bit earlier so you can build your course schedule around your athletic practices and your travel schedule. For track, it's invaluable that we have one practice in the mornings because it leaves the rest of the day available to you for your classes or your labs. In the event that you do have to take a 9:30 or 10 a.m. or even an 11 a.m. class on the days that we have our strength and conditioning session in the weight room, you're able to talk to our strength and conditioning coach and find an alternative time that works best for you so you can make up that hour in the weight room. And you don't lose that training you need as an athlete, and you don't have to sacrifice the courses that you need as a student. There is help available to you for academics. Professors are very helpful and understanding of your athletic responsibilities, and they're always willing to work with you if you're missing classes or need to make up exams or quizzes. there's an office filled with advisors dedicated to student athletes in their academics. Within your first year, they're already reaching out to you, setting up individual meetings to make sure you're getting your requirements in, staying on top of everything throughout your 4 years, and just doing okay in your classes. So they're readily available if you have questions or concerns about anything academic related. One of the great things about the Athletic Advising Office is that they have tutors available just for student athletes. So if you're struggling in a class, having difficulty with a particular topic, have a big paper coming up or a big exam, or just want assistance with homework or extra review, you have these tutors available to student athletes to meet with one-on-one. The athletic office hires other student athletes, such as myself, to be these tutors. I've tutored subjects such as calculus, biology, and chemistry. And being an athlete, I understand the difficulties of taking these same classes while balancing athletics. So I'm able to share things that I found helpful and useful and allowed me to be successful in these same classes.
It is possible to take on internships during the season. Coach is very open to working with scheduling as long as you communicate with him effectively, as well as the weightlifting staff. Now, as far as core requirements go for the school, everyone is required to take your basic economic classes as well as a few basic math classes. You also have to take a composition course as well as a philosophy and a theology. Now, when talking about the business school, there's no better place to be in business than in New York. A lot of our professors are actual professionals within the field, so they have a lot of pertinent industry knowledge and are more than welcome to help you with networking, resumes, and finding internships and such like that. So Fordham's a great place to be.
Career Services is a tool available on campus really to anyone regardless of their major or their school year. They host things such as career fairs, company site visits, panels, just general networking opportunities that expose you to professionals and alumni in any industry that you're interested in. They're also very helpful in their offices with things such as editing your resume and helping you prepare for interviews. They're really there every step of the way for you. I'm also part of something within Career Services called the Fordham Mentoring Program. I was paired with an alum that is not only in the industry that I'm going into, but also someone who used to be part of the Fordham track and field team. So Fordham has a really strong network of alum, but so does Fordham track and field. Our coach makes sure that anytime a former athlete reaches out with job opportunities for us, we're the first to know. And it really just creates this community that extends beyond graduation.
As a team, we do most of our preseason and indoor training in the Lombardi Fieldhouse, which is the indoor track facility. As a thrower, we set up the circle in the middle of the track area and do most of our drills and throws there. The weight room is really nice and recently renovated with many weightlifting platforms, free weights, and other equipment to help us build our strength. Additionally, the team has personal strength and conditioning coaches that tailor specific workouts for different event groups to ensure that everyone is getting the best workout possible to improve their abilities.
My favorite is the cafeteria. The cafeteria is located right next to the indoor track, which means after a hard workout day, the team can go there and get a full recovery in. The cafeteria aside, we have many other options spread throughout the campus that resemble sort of like a Panera Bread.
I'm going to be speaking about some of the running routes, and just to start out with is our home track. It's an indoor track, so during the winter we can be in there and be warm. Everyone's in there from distance to sprinting, jumpers, and throwers, and it's just really nice just to do workouts and everything. Next is Van Cortlandt Park, which is a really big park where we do our long runs too, because there's tons of trails and stuff. They also have an outdoor track, which we do outdoor workouts for outdoor season. And also there's a flat area that's graveled, and it's just good for tempos and other longer reps that we do for our workouts. Next is Rockefeller Park, which is in Westchester. Another very good place for long runs, and also do just longer reps there as well. There's a lot of good hills there. It's pretty hilly. We do a lot of hill sprints and other shorter reps there, which is really nice. And lastly is the Oval at Williamsbridge, which is another outdoor track, which we do workouts. It's about a mile away. We do a mile warm up and then get our workout done, and then a mile cool down. And that's always great to have just going into the outdoor season. I never get bored of the runs. There's so many different places to go. You're in the city, you're with all your friends, and it's just a good time.
We practice every morning at 7:30, so for me, a typical day begins at 6:45 so that I can be there on time. Depending on the workout that day, a typical practice will go from 7:30 to about 8:30 or 9. And then twice a week, there's lift from 9 to 10. And if there's not lift after practice, I typically go to the caf for breakfast with the team. From there, depending on my schedule that day, I'll have 2 or 3 classes, and then some free time to meet with teachers, meet with friends, do my homework, and get whatever else I need to get done that day. Our training consists of 2 key components: an individualized weight training program with our strength and conditioning coaches, and individualized event training, which for me is tailored for sprinting and jumping and consists of conditioning and technique training. Overall, the goal is to enable the student athlete to achieve their maximum potential.
So during off season, what we usually do is focus on mileage, endurance, and speed work. So on a regular day, you could catch us doing 3 to 4 miles, hurdle drills, speed drills, or things like that. My coach is Coach Sean, and I think his style is definitely tough, but it's catered to help us succeed. You can tell by the workouts he gives us or the drills he gives us, he wants us to be the best that we can. So usually the work he gives us is individually made to cater towards our needs and what we want to succeed at during the season.
During the off season, we still run and work out together. It's a great time to build a solid base for mid-D. Sometimes we'll work out cross country to build up our mileage, and we'll still continue work on our speed and our strength. It's really a great time to bond and to get ready for the upcoming season. The coaches really know and care about each of us as an athlete and a student. They're enthusiastic about working with us, but trust that we'll meet them halfway. If you want to get better, then you will.
So a little bit about off season for jumpers. Our off season is very similar, if not identical, to sprinters, where we're working less on technique and more on endurance and strength building. So strength building happens through bi-weekly lifts, and we have our own strength coach for that. Endurance, we work very hand in hand pretty much with the sprinters throughout the entire off season. For bi-weekly or 3 times a week, we do our sprint workouts. We don't actually start technique work until about 2 months into the off season in order to allow for time to recover and to avoid injury before indoors. And we're really blessed to have event-specific coaches allowing us to hone in on our individual skills, to be able to talk to someone about injuries, issues we're having with jumping. So for our coach, he stresses run-throughs and techniques for each individual jump. So he'll work with you on high, long, or triple separately instead of all at the same time. So a normal week with him could look like mini hurdles on Tuesday, and then pit work on Friday, so hurdles into the pit or just run-throughs. In your first year, you'll grow very close with all the coaches, so they'll all be an ear. If you have any troubles, mental or physical, you have 3 or 4 coaches to come to no matter what is going on.
So at Fordham, we train in the mornings. We practice every day at 7:30 a.m. I know this sounds rough. It's really not. It actually makes for a nice routine with our class schedules, and it's very easy to fall into a rhythm. On Sundays, we actually don't meet at 7:30. We have what's called a captain's practice. So this is when groups meet at the discretion of their captains, and it usually ends up being at 10 a.m. So this is your chance to sleep in for the week. For us XC or distance guys, this is typically when we get our long run in. As far as training hours per week goes, it really depends on what type of runner you are and what group you're in. Some groups don't require as much mileage, so you could be out of practice by about 9 or 9:15. As far as distance and XC goes, we probably won't be done until about 9:30, 9:45. Of course, you could always, opt to meet up later in the day, get a double in, get some more mileage, or just do the extra little things like stretching, core, strengthening, whatever it is you got to do. But basically, training hours all depends on what type of runner you are, what group you're in, and just how good you want to be.
Practices are every day from Monday to Saturday at 7:30 in the morning, and they usually run about an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and occasionally we'll have captain's practice on Sundays at 10 a.m. We usually spend about 12 to 15 hours a week training. This includes mandatory practice and lift, but it'll vary from person to person because on workout days some of us will go and do a short run on our own time or cross train, and a lot of us actually like to go and do yoga at some time during the week.